Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Backups.
And it is the Backups. Here we are. We're live. We're live on YouTube.
This is the real deal, man.
It's the real deal. I got my phone here with YouTube comments, so you can communicate with us. If I forgot something at home, wife, look it up on YouTube. and there it is. So we're doing this for real. This is exciting. We right now have 0 viewers, but that's okay.
They'll tune in.
They'll tune in. We're not doing this for the for that reason anyway.
Not necessarily for the views. I think we enjoy it.
We do. We enjoy doing this, and
there's a select few people that love us that enjoy it too.
Yeah.
Hopefully we'll get some more.
Yeah. So, welcome to the Backups. We are indeed football coaches. I'm Timbo B. Davis. I coach football.
My name's Connor B. Fickley, and I coach football.
And that is convenient because this is a football podcast. And today we are talking all sorts of things. We're going to put together the first ever fantasy draft. Is that what we want to call it? Fantasy draft?
We're looking at all the incoming rookies, from the 2021 NFL draft. And those couple big wigs over there on ESPN, they kind of stole our idea. We came up with this, and then all of a sudden we clicked on ESPN, and Todd McShay and Mel Kiper were out here doing the same thing.
Stealing our ideas.
Must have saw my notes or something.
I'm pretty sure they're fans of the show.
Yeah, they probably saw something.
Plagiarists.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah,
maybe. We're calling them
if they've done it for several years.
Yeah,
we had it this year.
Yeah, Anyhow, hey, there's 2 people out there watching. Whoever you are,
appreciate you.
We do. At least that is a morbid curiosity. What's the best thing you saw this week?
Best thing this week. I know last week we talked about the weather getting nicer, and it's still getting nicer, so that's still good.
Way nicer.
But best thing I saw this week was actually the NCAA finally coming to an agreement to get rid of that 1-year transfer, having to sit out rule, and I feel like I saw that tweet. Everyone was talking about the NCAA kind of getting rid of that so guys can transfer freely, and which is awesome. And I feel like the next day I just saw a bunch of stuff on Twitter, kids hitting the portal, getting that spring, fall season makeup done, and guys are kind of moving on and see what else they can do. So it'll be an interesting next couple of months in the sense of college football and where guys end up going.
Thoughts on the portal? What you got?
In the sense of where guys are going to go or where's it going to end up? I mean, it's gonna be packed. I think it's going to be a busy portal. I think it's going to be a busy portal across all divisions. I think multiple sports too. I mean, it's going to be wild. It frees up that opportunity for guys to not have to risk sitting out a year, and so I think a lot more people will be looking into it. It'll be interesting.
Yeah, fascinating. The best thing I saw.
Yeah, what
was,
do you got?
Actually, I think the best thing I saw getting out on the trails again that are starting to dry. The roads, really. It's the side of the roads, and I like to run in the summertime. I just got done skiing quite a bit. I love skiing. I might even get one of those roller ski things
for the summertime. You be one of those guys, huh?
I'll be one of those guys. But I'm gonna bring some style to it. I'm gonna wear really short shorts with really really big knee pads, really big elbow pads. I want to basically look like a 6-year-old girl.
Hopefully Malia's not listening.
Roller skating. No, this is going to be awesome. I'm excited about this. But no, I've been getting out. I've been running a little bit. It's been awesome. Springtime is happening in Alaska.
Springtime's coming.
And it
slowly
is
but surely
a good thing. So today, what are we doing today, Connor?
We're gonna bounce around back and forth and kind of take turns doing a little offensive fantasy draft, mock draft, I should say. Just going over some guys who we think offensively, who we want on our teams.
We're building a team.
Building a team based off of all the incoming rookies going to the draft in a couple weeks, and so we'll get to go back and forth and see who can get the better team, and it'll be exciting, I guess, to see maybe a couple months from now at the end of next season. See how our teams actually would have done if we would have had guys that were total busts, or if we end up getting guys that end up doing pretty well. So
hey, I'll one up that. Let's do this. Let's revisit in 2 years from now.
2 years, there you go.
And we'll
still be around.
Heck yeah, we are, and they will too, hopefully. And let's do a fantasy draft not draft. We're doing it right now. Let's take a look at these teams if they were fantasy performers. Plug them in.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah. So they've had a couple years. They can't have they're not locked into the rookie thing anymore. They are full-fledged athletes on these teams playing ball. And we'll see who chose better tonight.
Yeah, well, we'll see.
All right. So what we're gonna do is we did not decide who's gonna draft first, or did we? I don't believe we did.
I don't think we did.
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do, because you can do this in live video world. We're gonna take you right to Draft Central.
Man, this is wild.
Here we go. We're going to Draft Central.
Do-do-do.
Woo! You didn't see it. You didn't see it, but it slid across the screen. Oh my gosh, it's so good.
Good thing I got it in front of me.
You'll be seeing it a few times. We're gonna do that quite a bit. In fact, watch it do it again. There it goes. Boom! Look at that.
Dang, that's good stuff.
Yeah, we're probably more excited about that than anything. But let's talk a little football. Let's talk about these guys. So we are going to take 12 players, not just the 11.
Yeah, just 11. We'll get an extra guy.
I think that's good because it gives us a little versatility. But the idea is we're building an offense. This is what we got. Who makes us the best offense based on what's available in the draft. We're going to do it like a fantasy draft style where it's just the two of us. Makes it easy. We're both going to have good teams.
Makes it pretty nice that way.
Maybe we'll bring somebody else in at a later point.
It kind of reminds me of like how I used to play my old Madden games, where you turn off the salary cap. And once it gets to like free agent, period, you just spend all your money. You signed all the best free agents. You immediately trade them away. And then by the end before the season starts, you start off having all 32 first-round picks.
Yep.
And that's how I like to play my Madden.
That's a good. No, I like that strategy, by the way.
Only with that easy.
Okay, so let's get right into this. I'm pressing a lot of buttons tonight. We never did find a button pusher. We will find that button pusher. We will find you.
You were going to come to us, and we were going to find you.
That's spooky.
And you're going to get to.
That was very threatening. I was very threatening. I was not welcome.
In a good way, man.
Not welcome to the team style. All right, let's go back to our big draft board. This was made, by the way, by Mr. Connor B. Feckley. And we got a player board here, basically, of our... I'm deleting things. Oh, gosh. Look at me. I know how to use spreadsheets. We got the top links here, or the top picks, based on various news sites. We have their school colors, and you have to zoom in really close with your eyeballs if you really want to see that. Can I zoom in more? How can I zoom in Google? Don't worry about it. You'll get the idea.
You'll get the idea.
Yeah, you'll see it. And if you're using a phone, you won't get it.
You won't get it, but you'll hear it.
You'll hear it. All right. So first pick. Are we gonna rock paper? We should rock paper scissors.
Just rock paper scissors shoot.
Rock paper scissors shoot like that.
Okay.
I'm not going scissors first. I just
did
did that.
Yeah, go scissors
or is
first.
this gamesmanship? All right, here we go. Rock paper scissors shoot. Oh, I did go scissors first. I was a dirty liar. Best two out of three. Here we go. Rock paper scissors shoot. Rock paper scissors shoot.
Oh, here we go.
Here we go. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. All right.
Boom.
CFAC gets the first pick. Let's go to the draft board. Whoop. Ooh, sound effects.
All right, man. Well, since it's the two of us, it kind of makes my options a little easier. You know what? My first overall pick. I already know who you're going to go for quarterback, so I'm not going to waste it on that.
That's what I thought today, too.
I'm going to go
I'm not picking first.
Kyle Pitts out of
Dang
Florida.
It,
tight end out of Florida.
Plan.
Yeah, that.
I am going to take... I'm
going Kyle Pitts, man.
No, I am definitely taking Trevor Lawrence just to spite you. You're not. That was my plan this whole time.
I knew he was going to go Zach Wilson, and I know whoever got the first pick was going to be a toss-up.
No, that's good. You done well. All right, so we're gonna do the copy paste. Don't do this in school, kids. No, wait, I just did Trevor Lawrence. Kyle Pitts going to, and I should make this full screen. Oh, look at that full screen Google we got here. We got Kyle Pitts going to Team Feckley. Well, that really kind of stole my thunder. To some degree. So, you know what? I'm gonna play this traditionally. So we already talked about quarterbacks extensively. Trevor Lawrence might be the better quarterback in the long run, but I'm Jets fan. I'm high on him. I'm taking Zach Wilson out of BYU. He will be my first round draft pick. He's gonna be Team Davis's the guy that takes us into the future. Rights the ship.
No, it's
right
a good
to the ship.
It's a good pick. I like it. You know what? I'm gonna.
Who do you got? Pick number two.
I'm gonna start solidifying that O-line, and I'm gonna go with Penei Sewell.
Oh, you're going with Sewell.
I was a tackle out of Oregon, and I know we've talked back and forth. We kind of got Sewell and Slater kind of 1 and 1A right there. I did a little bit of watching some video, just kind of like I figured this was gonna be the end of our last opportunity to kind of figure this out before we did this draft, and everything I keep saying, man, Sewell just kind of gets that little edge through everything, and they're both going to be phenomenal, I think, in the long run. But I'm going to go with Sewell here and get my left side locked down.
Awesome. That's good. I'm going to follow suit, and I'm going to go ahead and get Rashawn Slater because you don't get both Slater and Sewell.
I was open those
and
minutes.
I knew that is coming if I don't do that. So let's go ahead. So many buttons to press, so little time to do so.
I was going to say, I might be able to help you out here, too, doing this.
That would have taken planning and execution, and there's no planning here.
There's no plan. We're going on the fly.
We're
doing all right, too.
All right, pick 3. What you got?
Pick 3, man. I think I'm going to go on over here to... I'm trying to think. Should I go for somebody that maybe you'll want, or should I go for somebody... No. Let's go wide receivers. Let's go Jamar Chase.
Good call.
At LSU. He's going to be the top wide receiver in the draft. I could see him going anywhere 5, 6, 7. I don't think he's going to fall out of the top 7, though. I think someone's going to end up taking him over a lineman in the real NFL draft.
Yeah. No, and he that's your favorite receiver in the draft.
Yeah, just based off of if you put on the film and you watch their highlights of a full year of what you see, Jamar Chase just kind of has it all. And Burrow helped make him look good and everything, obviously, too, but a lot of times Jamar Chase made Burrow look good. So I think, if the Bengals can rekindle that, we'll see, but he's on my team now.
I love it. I am with, where are we at? I don't even know where we're at with the picks right now. I am picking number 3. My third pick, I'm not going to follow suit. I'm going to grab Najee Harris. I'm not convinced that running backs need to go super high in this year's draft. I think there's quite a few of them. I think Najee Harris could be really, really good. And I like...
That's a good pick.
Him and Zach Wilson with Rashawn Slater. That's a good start of an offense. I'm feeling good about that.
So if you think if Najee were to maybe slide and maybe no running backs go in the first, they're all still there, second round for the Jets, I'm talking.
Yeah.
Would you rather them get? Would you be happy? I mean, obviously you're thinking you'd want Harris over ETN?
I think Harris over ETN. I know the talk is ETN right now. I just listened to the Travis Etienne interview by Move the Sticks. It was pretty good. But I would say I'm leaning towards Najee Harris. I think his size is something pretty special. I think he's got the makeup to be something really, really amazing. So I am going to go Najee Harris as my third pick. And I think the Jets, if they were in any position, they would grab. But I think Najee's going to be gone long before the Jets pick again in the 20s.
Yeah, you think so? I can see them maybe getting him in the 20s.
You think so?
Because they go before Pittsburgh, and I think the Steelers would kind of be the first.
Gosh, can you imagine him at Pittsburgh?
Yeah. I imagine it'd be really good. So, I mean, I can see him being really good there, but.
Yeah.
So we'll see. All right, so let's see. Najee Harris gone.
Who's your fourth pick?
Fourth pick. I'm going to go Elijah Vera Tucker. I'm going to go stay on that offensive line. He's the number 1 guard coming out of the draft. I really hope the Vikings get them at 14. We're talking about kind of relating it to the NFL there. He's going to do great on my squad. That's inevitable. But I hope for the sake,
especially with your coaching staff that you've assembled. We'll get to that a little later.
Coaching staff is coming.
You're going to want to stick around for that.
Coaching staff is coming. But yeah, Elijah Vera Tucker, the dude is dude can move people. So he's going to be great wherever he ends up. Hopefully he ends up a Viking. I think they need him more than anybody. Well, I'm sure a few guys could use him, but hopefully I'd like to see him be a Viking. If he's not on my team, I'd like to see him be a Viking.
I like it. We are going to roll with pick number 4 with me. I'm taking the young man out of Penn State, Pratt Freiermuth. And if you watch him and what Penn State did with him, really fascinating potential there. I think he's just going to be an interesting how he plugs into a pro-style offense. But I think you're seeing more and more of tight ends being used out of the backfield. And Penn State did a really good job of using him on their zone read type look, where they read the D end. He would come on around like he's running like a split zone block on the D end. He would bypass the D end, and basically it's another form of the triple option, where you have the quarterback reading the D end, the quarterback can run, the quarterback can throw, and I really like Zach Wilson doing that. So I think putting it all together. I I like the fact that you got to defend Najee Harris running inside zone, and Zach Wilson pulling the ball and dumping the ball off to ball carrier space.
No, I like it. It's a good choice.
What you got?
Let's see.
Pick number 5.
What do we got overall? I got, okay. All right. Gosh dang, my team is kicking your ass already. All right, here we go.
I don't know about that. Who's on the board still?
Let's go receive. I'm going to go back to receivers then. If you haven't taken any, I'm going to go get Jalen Waddle.
I'm not taking receivers.
I'm going to go get Jalen Waddle and
Coach Beckley takes Jalen Waddle.
And get my outside receiver game on point. Obviously, I think Waddle could be a guy who can move around and play both, but I got some speed and I got some talent. And I think both those receivers are going to be great players in the NFL.
I agree. No, I think they're going to be solid. I am also going to go the receiver route with this next pick. I'm taking Devontae Smith because I know I've been kind of as backwards of what I've been saying.
Yeah.
I went back and I watched some more last night, and I think what he reminds me of Jerry Rice. I don't know. That's my, as a kid growing up, that's who he's
a crisp route runner.
The route running, the body type.
Yeah, no, the body type, obviously, yeah.
I just see a lot of that. I think he can be really good. I think he can be diverse in many different offensive systems, but my system, obviously, we'll get to the screen game momentarily, but I think, let's talk about screen game. We saw how they used him in the championship game.
Yep.
And that's hard not to, as a coach who really enjoys running screen game, coaching screen game, and watching it. It's really hard not to just be like, that's the guy I want. So, Devontae Smith as my receiver. Number 6 to you. What do you got, Coach?
That's a good pick. I'm gonna go ahead and get my other tackle here and get Christian Darrisaw.
Okay.
Out of Virginia Tech.
You're tackled out.
Yeah, I'm tackled out, but another solid tackle who's gonna be a first round guy. I can see him falling. I think the Redskins, or not the Redskins, excuse me, the Washington football team.
Get it right.
Get it right. I can see him going there. I think they're going to need help. Got to keep Ryan Fitzmagic up. Keep him healthy because I think he's going to do some wonderful things for them this year. But yeah, in the news today though, I did see that Washington football team, if one of their quarterbacks that they like, if there's a guy still sitting there, maybe 7, 8, 9, they're talking about trading up. So it'd be interesting to see what they'd be willing to do if that is the case. Because like I said, at that point it could be the 4th or 5th quarterback off the board. And so is it worth trading up 10 spots to get a guy? So we'll see. But Christian Darrisaw is going to be on my team, and we're going to be dominating up front. So
you're going to be pretty good. You're not going to be bad at all. What pick are we on here? Let's go to more pressing buttons. We're on pick number 6. Who am I grabbing? I'm going to go ahead and actually just going right down the receiver list. I'm going to take Kadarius Toney. I really like the Percy Harvin-esque type player that he is.
Not just because he's from Florida.
Not just because he's from Florida. Wasn't Percy Harvin number 1 when he was at Florida? Or no? I don't know. I guess
he had a lot of numbers. Like everywhere he went. Maybe not at Florida, but I'm talking NFL-wise. So 13, 11. He was
Kadarius Toney looks awesome with the ball in his hands. You just got to love playmakers. You got to love guys that when they touch the ball, I'll never forget watching Reggie Bush as a kid.
He was my favorite.
And whenever he had the ball in his hands, it was just like you took a breath. You're just like, because
you never know what was going to happen.
This guy might house it right now. And so there's a little bit of that in Kadarius Toney from the standpoint of he's shifty. I love the chance to get him with the football in his hands as a.
Like him as an X, or you like him as a...
move him around. Like him like Percy Harvin, almost like a Tyreek Hill.
Yeah.
Motion, get him the ball out of the backfield in motion.
Between him and...
I'm not sure how he I'm not sure where he goes this year. I'm not sure what he's slated to in many of the mock drafts, where he falls, because it seems like it's a pretty thick...
I could see Jacksonville taking him with the first pick of the second round. Yeah. I could definitely see them doing that.
He's going to be an interesting NFL player. I think it depends on the system. I think guys like him and Tyreek Hill and
it's interesting, like the way the NFL is moving, and getting more pass happy and doing more things. Which one of these, because it's pretty deep wide receiver class. It'd be interesting to see which one of these, which of these guys are going to pan out and end up being great players down the road.
Well, think about this, the mobility factor, the old school days of a statuesque quarterback, with the exception of Tom Brady, who was an outlier. They're more or less kind of done. Even the big guys are these mobile, like Josh Allen's.
Yeah.
And in fact, it's the funny thing, when you look at the quarterback list of these guys coming out, they're bigger than you think because they're so mobile. I think their mobility kind of tricks you, and you're like, oh, yeah, these guys can fly around.
Like I said,
be athletic.
It's great. It's funny you say that, because prior to kind of looking at Justin Fields and Trey Lance, looking at what they measured in at and their weight, I would have thought Trey Lance was way bigger than Justin Fields, just because the way that he ran the football at NDSU and the way he is kind of perceived. And then when you look at the numbers, and Justin Fields is like the same size and actually weighs a little bit more. And so I was kind of surprised to see that. But yeah, like I said, it's just kind of exactly what you're saying. So what do you got, Tony? That was your last one.
Tony was my last pick. Yep. What you got, brother?
Oh man, I'm gonna keep building this offensive line. I'm gonna go ahead and get I'm gonna get Quinn at UW Whitewater. Quinn Mernitz. Miners. Yes.
UW
Whitewater, Division III rep.
D3, baby.
Came on at the Senior Bowl. I think anyone who follows the Senior Bowl got a chance to kind of see him play and perform there. He dominated. So I'm going to go with my D3 guy.
I love it.
Did I take him a little high? Possibly. I don't know if that was going to be your dark horse or not, but I take him.
Started to make your pick for you. I even started to say you're going to take Dickerson out of Alabama, but
I absolutely should.
You're not going to get the chance.
But my eyes went down there.
With the 7th pick, the Team Davis takes Landon Dickerson. This guy is about as perfect as it gets. When I think many of the Alabama offensive linemen, I can't believe I have 3. I did not intentionally plan to draft the entire 2020 Alabama football squad, but I have.
Not a bad
Landon
team.
Dickerson, dude. He is the complete player. There's a few other guys on this list that I was impressed with watching stuff. I think was it Josh Myers, one of these guys, Wyatt Davis, a guard out of Ohio State, who actually opted out.
Yeah.
And then opted back in.
After they got it all figured out and everything.
Yeah, and so I think like that was really impressive. That was cool to see that. So anyway, this O-line class is pretty cool. This is a fun draft class.
Oh, absolutely. And like you said, Landon Dickerson, playing 3 years at Florida State and then did transferred over to Alabama.
Yeah.
4-year starter, but
yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Been hit with the injury bug.
Yep.
He's had a battle, I think, just about. I don't even know if he ever finished a year at Florida State because of injuries and stuff like that. Obviously, the torn ACL there with Alabama this past season, it kind of knocked guys. And then Alabama's last pro day, he was doing cartwheels in the back, behind Mac Jones' interview. So if he can stay healthy, man, he can be a day one plug and play guy for whoever's lucky enough to land him.
All right, what you got? Next pick.
Number 7, 8. Who are we on?
We're on
Travis Etienne, running back, Clemson.
Oh, there you go.
That's where I'm going.
B.
I'm going Travis. Him. The fact that he came back is the all-time, most touchdowns in the ACC.
Something like that.
Yeah. And just all over the place. It was fun kind of going back and get a chance to watch some of his teammates at Clemson talk about him, especially like as a freshman, because no one really knew about him. And so a lot of his teammates were saying, we didn't know who this guy was, and until he in practice, kind of when things first started off, he took a sweep and just outran everybody, made some amazing things, and so he quickly worked his way up in that Clemson offense, and has been a lot of fun to watch the last several years.
So we're taking 12 guys.
12 guys.
Not because we're in Canada, because one guy does need a break. And I am actually...
You only get one breather.
One breather, one guy. And so I'm picking a guy who can do a bunch of things with our next pick. Team Davis is taking Brevin Jordan out of Miami, the tight end. I love his ball carrying ability as a tight end. If you have a tight end that you can throw screens to consistently, I think that just makes for what Team Davis is going to do offensively here. I think that's pretty special. I love having athletic tight ends that can get out and block. And be receivers. I'm not looking for as much downfield presence with the tight ends.
Yeah.
I'm looking for the ability to be a threat, and then maybe develop that with our coaching staff.
Yeah,
that downfield ability. But no, I love what it's it's been talked a lot about on this show and many podcasts, but the NFL is moving to like a positionless player league where you have guys that can be moved all around. I really like Brevin Jordan's ability to move all around the field and do a bunch of things with the football in his hand.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. Like I said, these tight ends are another interesting thing because, like you said, a lot of these guys you can use as receivers and other things too. So
it's just such a fine line. What is a receiver anymore? Like what's a receiver and what's a tight end anymore? Anyway.
Yeah, it'd definitely be interesting. Let's see. Moving on, I am gonna go get Rondale Moore, wide receiver out of Purdue.
Interesting.
And have you got a chance to watch this guy on tape? I mean, he's like the ultimate Swiss Army knife.
Yep.
The guy the way he plays for a wide receiver, I just love it because he just seems like he's a middle linebacker, but he puts the ball in his hands and he just makes guys miss or he'll run through you. Yeah. So just a super electric player. I think he's going to find himself a nice home and be a productive NFL player as well, and he's going to put up big numbers in our offense.
I think it continues the theme that guys that have versatility. I think we did an episode on that. Versatility?
I believe so. Yeah.
Versatility, yeah.
Well, and I was going to say, too, it's just, like I said, but the way he plays and just the way he carries himself, a little chip on his shoulder, and the dude's just going to be a grinder. You tell him to go block somebody, he's going to go out there and work his ass off. So
yeah. Well,
I'm excited about that.
I have 4 picks, and I believe I have 2 O-linemen. So I need to rectify.
I think I know where you're going.
I need to rectify this decision. I am going to take Tevin Jenkins out of Oklahoma State. He is a violent human being playing tackle. I love his aggression playing tackle. I could watch his highlight film all day. There's a few tackles in the top 5 here that are a little more handsy, for lack of a better term.
Exactly.
A lot of throwing and stuff like that. I'm not a fan of that necessarily.
I was gonna say I saw a guy say today that maybe they'd move him inside to guard just because of that fact.
Yeah.
Just get worried about an edge rush, not being able to handle it, and start getting way too many penalties. But yeah.
This dude's gonna be a ball player. He's got fire, and I hope that. I want to see what he can do in the NFL, and I want to see what he can do for Team Davis. Gosh darn it. But anyway, Tevin Jenkins out of Oklahoma State, violent, good football player. We're on to pick 10. What you got?
Let's see. I got 2 tackles, 2 guards, tight end, 3 running backs. You know what? Let's 12 guys.
I guess I could zoom in, right?
Let's go. You know what? I want my running back. You want Javonte Williams out of North Carolina.
Ooh, good call.
That's I want.
That's a good pick.
And then same deal. If you get a chance to turn on film and watch him, man, he just his balance. He is hard to take down. I mean, you watch him, he breaks some of these just ridiculous runs through his last couple of years there. And another thing I like about him is on the running back board is Michael Carter, his teammate, was also a phenomenal running back and is going to be probably the next running back taken in the draft. Whether it be this one or the real NFL draft. So I think it's going to be great for both of them because it's not like he was the main guy there. He kind of got to limit his carries.
Yeah, exactly.
So he might have a little bit more fresh legs to say moving over to the NFL. But no, Javonte Williams, phenomenal guy with great balance, great vision. Who I think is going to be able to tear it up at the NFL.
No, and I was actually thinking about going the 2 running back route earlier, and then I decided that the 2 tight end route was probably the way I really wanted to play
when you texted me the other night and you said you were looking at all your tight end guys, I had a feeling you were gonna.
Yeah, I just love that position, and it's something that's special. I think the Kyle Pitts at number 1. Gosh dang it, that was gonna be my thing. I'd planned. I was like, he'll just take Trevor Lawrence. Gosh dang, I'm still mad at myself about that.
Shouldn't have been riding Zach Wilson. So.
I should have gone rock paper scissors differently. I should have said no. It's not best out of 3.
Yeah, I didn't think you were.
Oh my goodness.
I'll take it though.
All right, Wyatt Davis, Ohio State. This guy is awesome. I love his pass protection. I love his. He's really good, man. Particularly in the pass protection game is what I saw on film. But he is a dude. I liked watching him all year. He's a big reason that team did so well. And watching him, he's legit. He's good. He's my guard. Wyatt Davis at pick number 10 for Team Davis. We're on to pick 11. We're down to the last 4 picks of the first ever rookie fantasy football draft.
Offensively.
Offensively.
Sorry, defense. Maybe we'll get you next week.
Yeah.
We'll get you next week or something. We'll figure something out. Centers I'm gonna get Creed Humphrey out of Oklahoma. I think with Landon Dickerson's injury, depending on how NFL teams are able to evaluate him and get an idea of if he's going to be able to stay healthy and be a guy, Creed Humphrey is going to be one of the top next center taken off the board in the real NFL draft. Great player at Oklahoma, versatile in the sense of pistol, shotgun, under center, versatile things. So Creed Humphrey. My offensive line is going to dominate, so letting you know that right now. I think both of us have good offensive lines.
Yeah,
it's kind of hard to argue that.
I think that would be. I think what we have is pretty solid. So we're down to what do I need? I need a guard still and a
guard
receiver,
and a
or
receiver.
I could just go 3 tight ends or 2 running backs.
22 personnel.
What has happened here?
Yeah, you're staying all in.
What in? This is Tim Davis. It is now.
Rerunning the triple option here soon.
I know,
Wing
right?
T.
No, and I do want to mention a few of the guys, like a shout out to Hunter Long for being maybe the longest human being.
Yeah.
Who his last name is Long.
Works
the
out.
Guy is crazy to watch play. He was a lot of fun to watch. I like the Bateman kid out of Minnesota.
Yeah.
I'm not picking him. What did I need? I needed another guard. I am going to roll with Terrence Marshall out of LSU as my big body receiver. He's pretty good. He kind of filled in for Jamar Chase.
Yeah, he had a big year
this year, and I think he could be. I'm interested to see where he fits into the NFL. But for Zach Wilson, I think Zach Wilson needs a big body dude to throw some back shoulder fades.
Yeah, and he's been climbing the board.
He and I'll say this: the thing about Zach Wilson, what's his receiver's name again? The one that was at BYU. Oh, I can't believe I'm forgetting.
Max Klein or something.
Yeah. I think to see his well, they were roommates. So like his connection to be able to throw those back shoulder fades, and he just would throw crazy passes and trust his receivers to go up and get it. I think Devontae Smith is more of an outrun you and beat you in a scheme.
Yeah.
A lot of highlights are set up by scheme or by them playing maybe lesser quality opponents.
Yeah, sometimes he's wide open.
And so
just running by himself.
But I like the idea of having a big body guy and then having the Jerry Rice. I really think Devontae Smith more. I wasn't high on him early. I am now.
Yeah,
it's enough to pick him at 5. A little low, but
speaking of high enough to pick him, moving over. Last but certainly not least, my quarterback taken.
Oh yeah,
at the end of the first round.
Oh shoot!
I'm gonna go Just kidding. I'm gonna go Trevor Lawrence, Clemson.
Yeah, right.
Obviously, right there, Trevor's gonna be. I mean, if all pans out, he's gonna be great. And if he doesn't do great in Jacksonville, he's gonna do great on Team Feckley, and that's all that matters.
I think it's a good pick. I think it's a solid
pick.
It's
pretty hard to argue.
I need a guard, or otherwise we're gonna be in trouble. And I'm gonna go with Trey Smith out of Tennessee. Did you watch any of the pro, not pro day, Senior Bowl?
Yeah,
Senior Bowl practices.
Yeah.
This guy, I love watching this guy play a ball. So Trey Smith out of Tennessee is gonna be my other guard.
He's a good player, and I remember actually when he had committed there. And went there as a freshman, and all the hype around him and seeing him in his high school highlights, I was like, my goodness.
His high school highlights, I found more high school highlights on a lot of the linemen than I found actually their college highlights. It was kind of interesting because believe it or not, I don't watch every college football game that there's ever played to watch for. I'm going to watch the guard today because he's going to be in my fantasy draft. So
someday.
A lot of the research was based on highlights, and that can be tricky when you're basing your research off that because you never know what you're going to see. So I tried to find as many complete games. Shout out. I really liked the tackle out of Notre Dame that I did not take, Eichenberg. He was a lot of fun to watch in the highlight stuff.
Was good.
And as a Notre Dame guy, I had him. He was on my list of guys that I should probably grab. But going over all this, like I said, going back to Trey Smith specifically, I loved his hips and his hands in his Senior Bowl work. He was always in great balance and great position, super technically sound, violent hands, really good job keeping his hips underneath him to a position where he could still have power and not overextend. He wasn't lunging at guys. He was solid. He was patient when he needed to be patient, violent when he needed to be violent. So there you go.
Yeah, that's fun, like I said, to get a chance to watch drills and different things like that during the Senior Bowl, because, like I said, it's not just those highlight tapes of him just doing everything right. You know, you get a chance to kind of see him, and against good competition too. Obviously, playing in the SEC, you're probably going against someone who knows what they're doing a little bit.
Yeah. So that's the team, man. Let's take a look at the final deal here. We're gonna one last look at the draft board. Oh, I didn't do it. Oh, and I'm backwards. Hey, we're back. Here we go. I'll kind of run over my team and kind of give you the thought, and then you can do that with yours. I really like what Zach Wilson brings. I think he's the Brett Favre style guy, and I like what the NFL is doing with a movement towards bigger quarterbacks who can be mobile and run around. You don't have to be Patrick Mahomes. You don't have to be Lamar Jackson, but you have to be mobile and work and find throwing lanes. And I think that the arm talent and confidence of a guy like an Aaron Rodgers, which is another comparison Zach Wilson's gotten, I like that a lot. My tackles, I think, are the most violent players on this board in Slater and Jenkins. I like Najee Harris. I probably could have gone with another running back. And had I gone with another running back, I do like Travis Etienne. I think he's going to be good. Mm-hmm. I think deep down, Najee Harris might be a once in a lifetime back. I don't know. Backs don't really come in that way anymore because they get beat up so bad. But I don't know. I think he's really good.
Like, maybe we're going to see like a Saquon type deal going at 2 again. I mean, it'd be interesting. Yeah.
And then tight end wise, I want tight ends who are mobile, who can catch, as well as bang on backside on a D end. The guards, I think, are both super technical guards. And then I think Dickerson, I know that he'd had the injury deal.
But if he stays healthy, man, he's going to be solid.
I really like that. So, and receiver-wise, I think that Devontae Smith and Terrence Marshall can be guys that take the top off. And then I really think that a tough team to stop offensively has just that guy. And of all the guys on the draft board, I thought after watching film, Kadarius Toney was just the guy that can do stuff if he gets the ball.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think you for having 2 teams here, I think you got the second best out of the 2, but it's still, top 2. It's pretty good. And all right, moving over here to Team Feckley. Kyle Pitts. How does that one feel?
That sucked, man.
Yeah, Kyle Pitts.
I was planning on that all day. Like, that was my strategy. I was like, because I originally thought we would just pick like teams and be like, well, there might be some guys we double up on.
And I was.
But then you're like, no, we're gonna do like fantasy, and I'm like, oh, that's a great idea. Wait a second, he's going to take Trevor Lawrence. He knows I'm going to take Zach Wilson. So I'll just take Kyle Pitts because there ain't going to be.
I think if we would have added defense to this, it would have made it a little bit more tricky and who we would have attacked it. But
maybe
since we talk offense a lot, and I know you like offensively, I kind of cheat a little bit. But Kyle Pitts is going to be a baller, and I think, like you said, you can spread him out. I mean, I can go out here in 10 personnel with Kyle Pitts in the field, or I can stay in 11 and put a hand down and do anything like that. Tackles going to dominate. Sewell, I think. I mean, come on, the guy is a freak. He's going to be fun to watch.
Athletic and violent again.
And then we get to receivers.
Not as violent as my guys.
With Jamar Chase and Jalen Waddle being my outside guys, I think, and then I'd love to have Rondale Moore being like my slot guy, motion him around, move him around, have him catch passes in the middle. I think Kyle Pitts, using him in the middle of the field, is going to just free up. That would be a nightmare to guard this offense.
Well, I think the matchup. I mean, that's the number one thing I heard on every single highlight reel was like, this is a matchup nightmare.
Yeah.
Like, how many times can you say that?
Over and over again.
Yeah, over and over. Anyway.
No, you're absolutely right. And then guards, I feel good about that. Elijah Vera Tucker is going to be an animal. And then I got my D3, Quinn. I figure I spell his name or say his name later on. But D3, UW Whitewater.
D3, baby.
Yeah, had a great Senior Bowl. I think he's going to be able to fit in and just continue to meet the expectations that getting up into the NFL level.
He's the only guy on your line that's as violent as my guys.
I'll take it. Running back Travis Etienne, phenomenal year phenomenal career at Clemson, and I think he's going to be, as long as he can stay healthy, keep his legs fresh, and just transition his game as an all-around running back, catching out of the backfield, obviously running between the tackles is going to be phenomenal. And same with Javonte Williams, having both of those guys. So if Travis Etienne, he needs a breather, I got another guy I can plug in and feel pretty good about it. Creed Humphrey, bringing in my center, solidifying that line. Smart guy up front. Played a lot of games for Oklahoma. So having that experience at that position is key. I think that will be great for not only my team, but for wherever he lands. And then, like I said, last but not least, where if I only had 11 guys in the field, he would be my last guy trotting on the field and would be Trevor Lawrence. Watching him throw the ball to these guys would be a lot of fun. And I don't know. I got nothing else to say because I'm just going to dominate. I wish we could just like run a simulator.
Let's do it
and see how this could work.
If only there was like a video game,
a Madden
based
game
on
that could do this.
High school football or college football.
Huh.
Yeah, or a Madden. Dude, that's what we do.
Yeah, that is what we do.
That's what we do. We create a team as soon as Madden 21 is out. Oh, dang. 21? Yep. 22. 21 is out.
Yep.
22.
I'm behind on the Maddens, man. I don't have all the new games.
So that's what we're doing.
So we'll be back. We'll be back with
and we're not going to play it.
You don't get to sit there and watch us play. You can just draft it.
We're going to draft it. We'll put the highlights. We'll record it.
Yeah,
we'll get the highlights.
We'll simulate it. See who goes. See who wins.
When should we do it though? Probably like halfway through the season though, right? Because like we don't want to like.
No, I think we should do it right away. Before we even give a chance to
comes up. Maybe that's our season finale before we kick off into like our
actual football season.
Yeah,
because we don't want to, we don't want guys to start going and all of a sudden their ratings start going up or something like that, or dropping.
What the draft expert,
Madden, we're in your hands, Madden. We're at the mercy of you and your rankings.
This is going to be good. All right. So anyway, those are the teams, but they need coaches. Can't coach themselves. They cannot coach themselves. So what we're going to do here. This is where we would have a word from our sponsors. Yeah. If we had that. If you're interested, there's a little chat there. One other person out there. Are you watching it?
I'm not.
Okay, so there's at least one other person out there watching this right now. I realized when I said there was two people watching, I'm one of the two. So there we go. Anyway, it is what it is. So let's go ahead and get into our coaching staffs. Now, the coaching staffs are going to hit a little different. Word of warning, they have limited amounts to do with actual
football experience.
I would say, yeah.
A couple guys might.
Might have played. I know one is an athlete. At the highest of levels, you'll see what I'm talking about.
The rest weren't alive for when football became a thing.
Some are dead.
Some guys I don't think would ever even be able to name a single NFL player.
So here's what we're doing. We're doing coaches that have something about their quality and their character.
Yep.
That help us understand the position just a little bit more. So without further ado, we're going to go with quarterback coaches first. So why don't you introduce us to your quarterback coach today?
My quarterback coach, who's going to be coaching Trevor Lawrence alone, is The Rock. The Rock. When I think of quarterbacks, think of a guy who's got to be coachable, mentally tough, have consistency, have a little moxie to him, obviously character. But that competitiveness, that work ethic, that leadership, I think I pretty much just described The Rock. So in my mind, that when I talked about all those things that kind of make up a quarterback room or make up a quarterback, I want my coach to be, embody all of those things. And the first guy that popped into my mind right off the bat was Dwayne The Rock Johnson. And so I think he'd be a pretty badass quarterback coach.
I think he would be phenomenal. That would be a very interesting go. So I like that. That's cool.
The Rock.
I can see him fire.
He'd be fun. You could throw 4 picks before half, and he might still, he'd be cool with it.
Well, let's talk about what do you do when you get those 4 picks for half. And my pick is Jocko Willnick of the Jocko podcast. Probably a friend of the show, I'm sure.
He might be that other guy
Might be that one other guy tuning in.
Jocko.
No, here's why Jocko. Because Jocko is all about extreme ownership. And so the quarterback position has to be the position that owns everything. The receiver fell down, the line didn't block, whatever happens, it's on you, man. It's on the quarterback. And there was a coach at a camp that we did a few years back, a decade ago, that coached Justin Kaufman. And while coaching Justin Kaufman, a great player here at West Anchorage High School, Gatorade Player of the Year type kid.
Shout out Justin.
This coach was like, it's always the quarterback's fault. Like and I don't necessarily want to do that. I don't like to use the word fault, but owning it is so important. And I think Jocko and his extreme ownership deal, the books.
If you haven't read the book, if you haven't read the book, get on it. It's quarterbacks. Go read Extreme Ownership.
Absolutely. So where do you want to go now? What coaches do you want to do now? Running backs?
Yeah, we can just go around running backs.
Okay. Let me load up. Let me see here. I'm pressing buttons right now, people. I think I got it ready. And coming in as your running back coach, who do we got for running backs?
My running backs coach is the Will Smith.
Get jiggy with it.
Get jiggy with it, man.
All right.
Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. When I think of a guy who, he's got to be a fun guy. He's got to be social, relatable, a great communicator, really understands the game. But when I think of like the running back coaches I've been around in my life, they're just, fun dudes. Not going to be the guy that's going to be, necessarily screaming and yelling and going absolutely insane. Yeah. Certainly can be if you're messing up and stuff, but more of a fun guy who's going to be able to, coach you without yelling at you and driving you nuts, be able to relate to issues you got going on outside of football, whether it be family or whatever. I just wanted a guy who's going to be relatable and be fun and want those running backs to show up and be excited to work every day. And why would you not be excited to work with Will Smith every day, man?
Because you could be working with Will Ferrell. Coming in
took that different direction.
Team Davis's other Will, the other Will is running back coach. I agree with everything you said about running backs, and that's why I chose Will Ferrell. He's going to be funny. But by the way, he's got street cred.
Yeah.
He's got people love Will Ferrell. He's well respected in the industry. He works really hard. He knows how to be funny. He has his craft down. He also knows sports to some degree, so he's got that competitor style in there. The man played in like 7 spring training baseball games in one day. If you haven't seen that, it's an HBO documentary.
I haven't seen it.
Yeah,
I'm going to go watch that.
He plays in one game and they pick him up in a helicopter and he plays in another. He pitches. It's crazy.
Oh, I have not. Yeah, that sounds like the most Will Ferrell thing, though. That's a good choice. I could see that being fun.
Running backs are about relationships and fun, and physically the toll is there, so you got to keep it light. But you got to have street cred. You got to have. You got to know where you're going with it. You got to have the.
Will Ferrell.
Yeah, Will Ferrell.
I did not see that coming.
Yeah, I was getting a little
surprised. I don't know all your guys, so that's pretty good.
Yeah. All right. Well, who's your wide receivers coach there, Coach?
When I was thinking wide receivers, I was thinking more of like a technician, somebody who really is crafty with what they do and kind of has a little chip on their shoulder. I think of a guy who, my wide receiver coach is Elon Musk. You think of a guy, and I was thinking more of like a CEO type. And that's what was in my mind because I wanted a guy who was going to be, mentally tough, have an attitude, always give effort, ability to finish. Yeah. That was a big one for me. I was thinking about that. But also at the same time, they got to be like an entertainer. You got to have some leadership skills. You got to be a planner. And I think that was a big deal too, is you got to be able to, set yourself up before that play starts, the wide receiver. How are you going to attack that defense, or how are you going to manipulate them by maybe changing up your alignment, doing things like that. When I think of Elon Musk and what he's been able to accomplish within the last 20 years, but just in the last year alone, he made over $100 billion.
Yeah.
So the guy knows how to get stuff done. Yeah. He knows how to be crafty with what he's doing and kind of and finish. Whether he's only whether Tesla's producing cars or not, he's shooting shit off to space and digging underground, and he's doing all sorts of stuff, man. But he's getting after it. So Elon,
I hope you're ready for this. Because it's Prince and the Revolution. Yes, Prince.
I can see that.
Check it. Wide receivers, talent. There's nobody more talented than Prince. In fact, it said like half of all like Billboard Top 100s in the 90s were written by Prince.
Yeah.
When I think talent, I think Prince. But then you can't stop with just talent when you're thinking Prince. You got to think of. Well, first of all, we know the man has handles from the Chappelle Show. It's blouses All right, it's skins versus bosses. What was it? Whatever it was. Oh my gosh. Anyway, so Prince,
went on.
You know the dude can ball. You know he's gonna go run routes with the dudes. No, Prince, rest in peace. This guy's my receiver coach. He talent, but again, the hard work and the technical side. You have to be a technician as a receiver just as much as like a guitar player and all his ability. He might be one of the greatest guitar players ever. You don't think of him because he's so Prince.
And I think another thing about it too is you got to be comfortable in your own skin. You got to be able to go out there and do what you want to do and how you want to do it, and not really give a damn what anyone thinks. And
that's a really good point.
And so I think if you think about it that way, yeah, Prince is pretty hard to beat. I know my mom grew up in Minneapolis, and she got a chance to see a lot of really cool live concerts throughout her day, and Prince is at like the very top. So
I love it.
Talent and just putting on a show and being a fun guy to be around. So
man, that's pretty good.
Yeah,
I got it. I like my pick. I like my coaching staff. I like my team too. All right. What do you got for your tight ends? You're teaching who's coaching up Kyle Pitts?
Kyle Pitts. Well, he's a pretty lucky guy because he's going to get USC's S. Grant.
Okay,
the U.S. General. All right, U.S. General of the Union
and president. He was a president.
He was a president, but I want the general. I want General Grant.
General Grant.
I want General Grant. Not that he wasn't a good president, but General Grant.
What happened? Mess things up.
Because when I think of tight ends, you want a guy who's going to be complex, but I think of the word tenacious. We had the awesome opportunity to have Dallas Clark, an Hall of Famer tight end, come to our practices at the University of Dubuque when I was working with the tight ends and speak to us, and that was like the number one thing he said about tight ends is the word tenacious. Okay. And so that's what I tag to tight ends all the time. But selfless, instinctive, also a planner. And when you think about tight ends, you think about opening holes because they got to be able to kind of do it all. And on the offensive line, they got to be able to open holes.
Yep.
When I think about opening holes and taking down enemies and
you're thinking Ulysses S. Grant.
I'm thinking Ulysses S. Grant.
Why did you not go Sherman?
Could have went Sherman, but
I almost went Sherman.
I watched a Grant documentary with my dad a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
And there was a really good documentary breaking it all down. I mean, the whole entire deal with Robert E. Lee and how it all shook down, and it just yeah, you can't go wrong, man. He was on the right side of everything. He was for the people, and got the job done.
So that's a good pick. So my tight end.
Excited about yours, man.
No, mine's I think it's not splashy. I think it's safe. I went with Bill Gates. Check it. So you have to be a multitasker as a tight ends coach.
That's
you have
a good
to
point,
be able to go into the fullback room. You have to go into the O-line. You have to go into the running backs. You have to go into the quarterbacks from time to time. The receivers room, obviously. So you got to be able to do a bunch of different things. You got to multitask. To me, Bill Gates is a guy who's got to be able to multitask. And not only that,
he's got his hands in a lot of things.
While he is super, what's the word? He's a hard worker. He makes lots of money. He's done all this. He's genius. He also gives back a lot. And so the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, shout out to them.
They're probably watching too.
Probably watching. Bill. By the way, there was a really good Microsoft sponsorship in there if you want it. The thing about Bill Gates that I see is the philanthropy. I think about giving for others
That's selflessness.
Out of this abundance of wealth. Well, what does a tight end do? They have this abundance of talent because they've been born super big, probably pretty coordinated, great hands, maybe not the top end speed, certainly not slow.
Yeah.
And so when I think of here's Bill Gates, maybe he's not Mother Teresa out there, but what he's using is his outpouring of talent, wealth.
Yeah.
And giving for people. And I'm sure there's plenty of people who hate Bill Gates who are going to be like, and just blast.
Same with Elon Musk. I mean, it was
we're not.
You got to look at it from that angle of everything else. And so
we're looking at the positives here.
It still kind of feels weird to think like Elon Musk being a receiver coach.
It'd be weird. So we're wrapping it up with our offensive line.
Offensive line one I think was the most fun. Of going figuring out who you want because you want the oil that's going to make the motor run, toughness, intelligent, an absolute grinder.
Yeah,
a guy with character, family, great willpower to keep on pushing on. You got to have extreme discipline. Whether it be, like I said, we'll get into that. A little bit of discipline, but then like I said, above all, family.
And who is yours?
My O-line coach is Sir Ernest Shackleton.
Sir Ernest Shackleton. That's good.
Yeah, did a little research, and I asked, reach out to my parents, and kind of wanted to search their minds. I just read out what I think an O-line coach, and it was funny.
Yeah.
I kind of read it out, and I was thinking explorer, someone, historical figure type deal, and my dad, whose name is Ernest, looked me right in the eye, and he went, Ernest. And I was and I was thinking Shackelford. I was thinking Duncan Shack. I was like, Coach Shack. Coach Shack's a great coach, but I was thinking more along the lines of someone else. But Sir Ernest Shackleton was an Antarctic explorer. Yep. Went down to Antarctica, did all sorts of exploring down there. We were one of the first to ever do so. But the reason I chose him was on his third expedition down to the Great South Pole. His ship, the Endurance.
It's here. It's right
you got
there.
It up there?
Well, no, that's
you.
You.
Again?
Got you again. What is happening? Good
the
Lord.
Endurance got stuck in ice. And these guys spent he had a crew of 18 or so and they ended up splitting up. They ended up going off across the dang South Pole for over a year or so, trying to get back to help, figure all this stuff out. He left some of his men on this island. And then he took a couple of his men on boats. They went over 800 miles to get back to the island, to get to other people. And then they had to make their way all the way back to save his crew. So when you think about all of this stuff, and when it took place in the early 1900s, and that all 18 of his men didn't die.
Yeah.
They all survived.
Yeah.
And you talk about having discipline and being leadership and that willpower, to push on and just to survive, and no man left behind. And you think of an offensive line coach who's usually going to have a room full of about 15 to 18 or so kids. It just lined up pretty perfectly.
That's a really good pick. I like that. I like it more now that you've even told me a little bit about it. I really like that pick.
Yeah, the more I dove into it, the more I was like, man, that would be. And look at some quotes. You look at some Ernest Shackleton quotes. Yeah. It's like I've heard every O-line coach say that before or something.
Bro, quotes. The O-line. Boom. We got Dr. MLK, and we got a quote, right? Yeah. Life's most persistent, urgent question is, what are you doing for others? That is the O-line. But the thing about Dr. King is that the road he walked was never easy. Yeah. And I think a good O-line coach really drives it home to his crew that the road you're going to walk is not going to be easy. It's going to be physically demanding. Yeah, and here are oftentimes the guys that need somebody to rally around, the O-line, because they're not usually the first picked in the game of touch football at recess. Yeah, they're usually the last ones. And so what I like about Dr. King is he spoke for the African American people and really all people.
Yeah,
that he's
totally.
The concept of the equality that we're fighting for still to this day, in the States. And so for me, I see a tremendous amount. Dr. King's a hero of mine. Mm-hmm. And as a leader, as someone who just loves people, Dr. King, man, it's tough for me to pick anybody else. So
yeah, no, that's a good pick. I was going to say one last thing about Sir Ernest Shackleton that was kind of funny. So like I said, his name is Ernest. My dad's name is Ernest. And he has a brother named Frank. My dad has a brother named Frank, so I think I know who my father was in his past life.
I was gonna say, is your dad then Ernest Shackleton? Is what I'm hearing.
And yes, my father was once upon a time Sir Ernest Shackleton. But I
fair.
found that out after the fact. He'd still be the O-line coach regardless.
Yeah.
But fun little info there.
Well, that's it.
That's it.
Teams are drafted. The coaches have been hired. Some posthumously. Got a few out there still kicking around. We have done a complete live show. It has been on. We've had at various times as many as 2 people watching. As little as 0.
2,000?
I'm a little confused about viewers 0 because I'm literally sitting here watching it. Do I not count?
They must know something we don't. YouTube,
apparently,
you're good.
Apparently not. So. Anyhow, it's about that time to say goodbye. You have any final thoughts about all this?
No, man. It was fun to look into it. I'm excited to talk some more. I think we're going to get Jake Britton back next week, and he's going to talk some more bigs. He's going to kind of break down some offensive linemen where he thinks those guys are going to get a chance to fall. So we'll be back, and we'll get a chance to talk some more draft before it happens. And I think we're going to take an opportunity to maybe even talk a little baseball and basketball.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that episode, talking about other sports, other things that we really enjoy. That's going to be a fun episode to run through. And so I'm just getting things ready here to press the right buttons. I'm excited about that.
And maybe we'll post something and get it online. Maybe we'll take it to the people and we'll see who they think had the better team here.
Well, yeah, you guys can absolutely vote in the poll. I think Coach Feckley I'm rolling the dice, but I think that I'm going to be right. I'm not afraid to lose. I just don't want to not win.
I guess
how do I word that? I want to win. I'm not afraid to lose.
Before we go,
we're going to win.
You trotting out of the field with your offense. You coming out in 12 personnel? What are we doing?
Opening drive.
What kind of offense you coming out?
Yeah, we're going on 12 personnel, but with those tight ends, I think we can do some stuff. And I think what we end up doing is, maybe we are in 11. It just depends.
Yeah,
I like Kadarius Toney. If I'm in 12, he ain't on the field. So I think probably 11 personnel with Kadarius Toney as a slot receiver.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking the same. Probably staying at 11.
Could roll with 12 with.
Could roll 12.
Yeah.
And still be all right.
And still be just
be going to, I think, either 11 or 21 for me just because of the two running backs. So it'd be fun to see both those guys in the field too. But yeah, man.
Well, that was fun. I guess we'll say goodbye to everybody. I'm Tim B. Davis. I coach football.
And I'm Connor B. Feckley, and I coach football.
And that's convenient because this was a football podcast. Have a great night, everybody. We'll catch you next time.
Appreciate you.